Yes, your screen is visible. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Nandini Agarwal. I'm a recent graduate of Economics and Maths from Delhi University. And through this presentation, I have tried to provide a brief overview of ICICI Bank Limited and the Nifty Private Bank Index on the index upon which it is listed. So to begin, we see a brief overview of the ICICI Bank. It is a part of the ICICI Global Group, and there are several other companies associated with it. Seeming its global presence, they are present in more than 11 countries globally, and we see that it was formed in 1955 at the initiative of the World Bank, GOI, and representatives of the Indian industry. It is an Indian multinational bank and a financial services company headquartered in Mumbai, and another of its offices associated in Vadodara. One of the recent highlights we see that ICICI Bank became the 15th most valuable bank globally because of its market capitalization, which crossed a mark of 100 billion US dollars as on 28th June 2024. Here we see a brief overview of the business segments of the business unit of the bank. There are 4 business segments that contribute to its banking services, and those are the personal, business, corporate, and NRI banking. Out of these, personal banking contributes to majority of the income and the revenue for the bank. In fact, as per their recent reports, we see that personal or retail banking contributes to more than 50% of their income via the loan generation business. Here are some key facts about the company as it is listed on both on NSE and BSE. It is dated on 2nd July, that is yesterday, very close to the market closing time of 3:45 p.m. We see that yesterday it closed at an amount of 1,191 at a decrease of 19.95 points, and it shows an overall bearish segment. And the basic industry of the stock is the private sector bank, and its macroeconomic and overall sector is financial services. And we see that it has a free float market capitalization of 8,38,643 crore rupees. One thing to notice here is its symbol PE is approximately 18.95. We will use it to analyze further details later. As I mentioned, that ICICI Bank Limited is listed on the Nifty 50 and also on the sectoral indices such as Nifty Bank and Nifty Private Bank Index. We see that this index is designed to reflect the behavior and gauge the performance of the banks from the private sector in India particularly. It comprises of 10 stocks, and the weight of each stock in the index is capped at 33%, and the cumulative percentage of the top 3 should not be more than 62%. This private bank index can be used for a variety of purposes, such as benchmarking fund portfolios, launching of index funds, ETFs, and structured products. As mentioned before, the weightage of each stock in the index is calculated on its free float market capitalization. The sources for this data is the NSE website. Here, this is a snapshot of the Nifty Private Bank Indexogram present on the NSE website. We see some crucial data. As mentioned before, this index has 10 constituents, and ICICI Bank leads the list by weightage of 25.52%, followed by HDFC Bank with a very small margin, and its weightage is 25.09%. As I mentioned before, the PE of ICICI Bank, the PE ratio was 18.95, and we see that according to the fundamental analysis done here, the PE ratio of the whole index is 16.52. This nudges us towards the direction to think that maybe the stock might be overvalued. But however, we can't base our decision solely on this, and there will be several other factors that contribute to it. We also see some key statistics, that is standard deviation. This is, since if we see the 1-year standard deviation, that is approximately 16.33, and it is annualized on it, and it is on an annualized basis, which is mediumly high. Then we see the beta, and beta is the measure of volatility of a particular stock or index in comparison to another index. So here we see that the beta of Nifty Private Bank Index with respect to Nifty 50 is 1.10, which is significantly high. This shows that the potential for returns are higher, but that comes with a higher risk. And the correlation of Nifty Private Bank Index with Nifty 50 Index is 0.86, which is of a medium-sized correlation. Another portfolio characteristics we see that the methodology used is periodic capped free float methodology, and it's calculated on real-time basis, and the index is rebalanced on a semi-annual basis. Next, this is a snapshot of the Nifty Private Bank Index's contributors dated on July 2nd, 2024. Yesterday, we see that it closed at a value of 25,979 with a decrease of 230.95 points. We see that HDFC Bank was the top mover in the index, leading with a upward points of 88.59 points. And ironically, ICICI Bank was the top dragger with a decrease of 110.73 points. Overall, we see that the overall look of this index yesterday was of a bearish segment, with most of the stocks being draggers. Now, this is a brief SWOT analysis of the company, that is of ICICI Bank Limited. We see that it has a strong market presence in the country with the huge distribution networks and trust established amongst the users. And another core of its strength is the technological innovation it presents through presenting various technologies like iMobile and online banking and various other uses. There are some weaknesses to it as well, such as the increasing non-performing assets on its balance sheet, which can be a cause of distress for the bank in the long term. And another is the dependency on interest income, which shows us that there could be volatility based on the interest rates and the overall status of the economy. And thus, it can also affect their revenue for the bank. There are several opportunities as well. In the last few years, we have seen a tremendous growth in the digital banking segment, with people resorting to online banking and various online facilities instead of in-branch facilities. So there has been a great source of growth and expansion for the bank by catering to this segment. And another one is the expansion of the rural and semi-urban markets in India with the rising financial inclusion. And it shows a great aspect for more customers and more growth for the company in the future. Coming to threats, we see that in India, there is intense competition, and it is likely to increase over the next few years with major banks vying for more market share, and even foreign banks trying to establish their market presence in India. So providing the best value to customers and staying competitive can be a potential threat for the company. And there are several cybersecurity risks as well, since a bank as an institution handles a lot of data, a lot of private information. It is prone to cybersecurity risks, and it is essential that they keep a track of this and be prepared for it. In a conclusion, in this presentation, we try to understand ICICI Bank Limited and its subsidiaries by the ICICI Group. It is listed on the NSE and BSE and is a part of the Nifty 50 index. And it is also a top contributor in the Nifty Private Bank Index, which is a sectoral index. Later on, we understood more about this index via its snapshots, and we also carried out a SWOT analysis of the bank. Thank you.
Great presentation, Nandini. I mean, I'm absolutely in awe of how well you guys have understood the importance of presenting it like that. Tell me, I think you missed on the part where, you had to explain the interdependency and the analysis of the sectoral PE with the index. So how much was your index PE, if you could mention?
Sure. The index PE was 16.25 and the bank's PE was 18.95. So the bank's PE is more than the indexes. So it might be considered overvalued, but definitely we will look at a lot of other aspects before giving a final recommendation for it.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's perfect. And I really like the theme of your presentation. How many of you felt we were actually going through a presentation by NSE itself, right? So that is the feel I got. Would you like to share, I mean, how did you make this presentation? Was it on a normal PowerPoint we get on our systems, or did you download a template? If you could share some insights on how did you pick up this theme and design each page or slide on this?
Sure. It is made on PowerPoint presentation only. And generally, I use Canva, so this was a new experience for me to use PowerPoint. Based on your yesterday's feedback, I tried to base my presentation on the theme colors for the bank, which is kind of maroon and blue. So keeping that in mind, I tried to present and inculcate all those similar colors. It was all handmade. I did not use a template. But even if you understand, even if you keep the core color of the company, of the brand in mind, the results are wonderful, I think, as visible.
True, true. Would you like to just present again? I wanted to walk through some of the slides for everyone. Just
Sure.
present 2 more minutes. Yes, feedback everybody. Speak up and let her know. Come on. Type कर सकते हो तो बोल भी सकते हो. Yes, everyone? Let's appreciate her, right? Because by appreciating her, we'll be open to receive that appreciation in the future as well, right? So tell me, yes. Show me the first slide, Nandini. Yeah. Right. See, I really like the way it has been kept very basic, and the text that you've added on the right hand side and the alignment of your name below it in italics looks perfect. Additionally, you could just add a footer, probably with your name. Name is already mentioned, preferably page number or something related to it, on the left hand side, maybe, for internal purposes, for educational purposes, something like that you can add. Move to the second slide.
Okay.
Yeah, an email was there. I think in the end you had attested your LinkedIn ID at the end, right? Along with email. No, email is also there. Yeah. So this works. This is a good format. Okay. Yeah. So this again is fine. Move to the next. Yeah. Okay. Next. So there was one slide that I specifically liked. I think the fifth one. So the fifth slide, I think, is very well presented in terms of, the flow of it and how you've explained the importance of the index as well. So this is something I want all of you to also incorporate in your presentations, because if you remember in an indexogram, the first paragraph above, when you look at all the financial and the details, there is a significance of mentioning that the index acts as a benchmark, right? There is a significance of mentioning that weightage of each stock in the index is calculated using specific methodology, which I'm sure you all have attested in your screenshots, but it's wise to add, the sources as well. So see, she's mentioned the source below, which I found to be missing in a few presentations, or you guys have preferred to put it in the end in the last slide. But see, understand that yes, sources in the last slide work, but in corporates, we prefer to have the sources mentioned right above, right below the particular slide, or right below a particular table, because that becomes more convenient to connect with. So I think, yeah, this is one thing. Keep it in mind. The sources, the headers, the footers, the overall feel of the presentation. The best, as I told you yesterday, was to keep it white, plain, simple, no, nothing, no fancy keywords, no fancy clip arts here and there. It doesn't matter much. Okay. Yeah, next, just go to the next slide. Yeah. What I liked about this page specifically was there are no indexes. Can you see it must have been taken as a snippet, right? The snippet may usually you get those borders, right? When you take a snippet, but there are no borders. This looks as if it's a single page of the presentation, right? It's a single slide and it's not taken from somewhere and then attached as an image. So this impression gives you a very clean view of the PPT. So this is what I did see some of you had those margins which were appearing because of the screenshot, etc. So try to crop them off or try to take the screenshot in a manner that it blends with your PPT. And that is why keeping white is a good option sometimes, because white makes it blended, right? It looks blended with it. Okay, next. Again, same for this slide, doesn't look like it's a screenshot. However, on the right hand side, if you see, there's a slight line mark that is appearing, right? Because of the screenshot. That can be cropped a little bit towards from the right hand corner of the this screenshot. Again, I really like the way you've mentioned the source, you've mentioned the date and also the year. Although that year was available in the previous slide above, the 2nd of July, right? And one thing, Shresht, I want to mention to you, or everybody, because I noticed it. See, you can always take a screenshot during the market hours, but when you are actually commenting on something, don't you think it's better to wait until the market closes on that particular date to take the screenshot and then update it? So वो भी आप update करना, ठीक है? So अभी you've added it, all of you might have added it for second, first, or prior, or to a prior date. But as you'll go ahead in the module, understand your work is not just limited to add additional things that I ask you to, but also keep updating these screenshots time and again. But instead of deleting the one on the 2nd of June or the 1st of June, try to add more slides with new information, right? So for example, today we are done with 3rd. Now take a screenshot on 5th. Why? Because you will be able to compare what happened on 2nd with what happened on 5th. So same screenshots, same PPT, but we'll create a comparison amongst these screenshots. So for that, try to take those after 3:30 on a trading day. Specifically keep 2 to 3 days gap in between. So for example, यहाँ पे second को लिया, second was what? Second was a Tuesday, right? And when is the index expiry? Anyone who knows? Index की expiry कब होती है?
Last Thursday of each month.
Index की होती है वो, stock की होती है वो. Index expiry I'm asking.
Every week index will expire.
हाँ. Which day of the week?
Bank Nifty on Wednesday and Nifty on Thursday and Fin Nifty on Tuesday, Sensex on Friday.
That's correct. So Nifty on
Thursday.
Thursday. तो कल क्या है? Thursday. ठीक है. तो expiry वाले दिन ना, मतलब this is a personal suggestion because a lot of volume takes place on the expiry, right? People sell their option contracts, they sell their call options, put options that they have been holding throughout the week. तो specifically on the expiry day आपको Nifty का analysis definitely करना है. ठीक है. निफ्टी का कैसे करोगे एनालिसिस, दैट आई हैव टोल्ड यू. ठीक है. सो आई जस्ट वांटेड यू टू ड्रॉ सम अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड क्लैरिटी फ्रॉम बोथ द पीपीटीज व्हिच वर वेरी वेरी वेल प्रेजेंटेड, both of you. Congratulations and happy to know you all are learning from what we are discussing in the classes. As far as the SWOT was concerned, Nandini, in the next slide, thoda sa na, you could have utilized this page even more. So maybe we could have expanded a little, instead of having a square chart, we could have a little rectangular chart to expand what we've mentioned here. But again, I won't question it at the moment because I know you all realize that there'll always be a scope of improvement and you'll keep doing it as time will proceed. So thank you so much. Now you can stop the presentation and let me take it a hit from here.